All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about the ongoing saga called "Can We Get This Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford Fight, Please, Lord?" Let's talk about that and what Terence Crawford's team is now saying, along with a little bit what Tim Bradley is saying in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, talking about one of the greatest fights that can be made in boxing today, the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight, and some recent developments. And we're talking about pretty much everything going on with the fight, because, hey, man, that's all that's really going on in boxing. Unfortunately, right now, we're in a time where we're in a big fight drought, pretty much a fight drought, where it seems like the politics in boxing are really standing in the way of a lot of great fights. But before I get into what the latest update is on Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and a supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. If you are new to the channel, thank you for checking out the video, watching the live streams that we do. Definitely accept my invitation. Please accept my invitation to watch, to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, bell icon, so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Sorry, man, stuttered over my usual intro because getting kind of frustrated, man. I consider myself to be a very, very diehard boxing fan, and I am willing to and able to talk about things a million times, man. It doesn't matter. Love boxing. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, we've been talking about it for a while now, and last night, saw a video come out from Team Crawford, guy I really do respect a lot out of his camp, named Bernie the Boxer. And Bernie the Boxer introduced the question, why can't Terence Crawford get an even split in the fight with Errol Spence Jr., which makes all kind of alarm bells go off for me. There was also a conversation that took place yesterday with Tim Bradley, a interview that came out with Tim Bradley, where Tim Bradley gave people the insights of what he has going on into the negotiation. And then you also have Bob Arum that came out yesterday and said something. The grand totality of these conversations all point towards there being a lot of ego going on relative to this fight, and a lot of positioning over money. Now, what Bernie the Boxer says, when he says, and this is a guy that is very, very closely connected to Terence Crawford's camp, when he says, why can't Bud get 50-50? All right. I don't have a problem personally with Bud getting 50-50. I absolutely positively do not. Right. I ain't spending any money related to, this coming. I'm paying for the fight. I'm not spending any money. I'm not getting paid any money for the fight. So for me personally, him getting 50-50, hey, man, please do it. Errol, let me see the fight. Right. That type of situation. However, when Errol says he is willing to bend and not break to make the fight, if he was put in a position to say, OK, if we have a pay-per-view that is we're going to do pay-per-view, we're going to do, the gate in Vegas, right? All these different things, and say we're going to split everything right down the middle. That would be unfair to Errol Spence Jr., because everybody deserves to get paid what they have actually earned. And while Terence Crawford most definitely is an excellent fighter, he is half of the reason that the fight is something that everybody's interested in, right? Because he was an undisputed champion. He was a champion at 135, undisputed champion at 140 pounds. By many people considered to be the best pound for pound fighter in the world. He's a guy that very well may be in the Hall of Fame in the first ballot whenever he's eligible for that. However, He's not the guy that's been carrying pay-per-views. He's not the guy that has been selling out big, 40,000 seats arenas. He's not the guy that has the really large actual fan base. And I think it would be unfair to Errol to say, okay, well, we're just going to split this right down the middle. If Errol's not comfortable splitting it right down the middle, because like I say, you get what you deserve, and what you deserve is what you put in the bank in the past. Now, if Errol decides to do it, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. However, to have that be a holdup still in this fight just makes me really wonder about whether or not Terence Crawford really wants the fight or not. I know that they say, that the different camps have said, that they're very close, that November, is when the fight's going to be. But just to have this type of conversation still come out is real funny to me. Now, at the same time, Tim Bradley came out and talked about what he thought was going on in the negotiations. And, he's a friend of Terence Crawford, and, he's an inside guy in boxing, but I don't know exactly how much he's heard from people specifically, or whether he was just shooting from the hip. But he said, look, there's a lot of stuff going on. These guys are going to be talking about stuff all the way from the ring size to who's going to walk out first, right, to, what the purse split's going to be. All of these type of things have to be worked out so that everybody feels like they've been treated really fair, and all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And I'm cool with that. I understand that I can understand how that could be. I just don't understand how we would still be talking about, or those guys would still be talking about, or stuck on a 50-50 split with Terence Crawford demanding a 50-50 split. That to me just does not seem like a reasonable scenario. And it's not too much off, honestly, from where Gervonta Davis would be with the conversations that he's having with Ryan Garcia, where Ryan Garcia is a big star. He's probably the second biggest star in the lightweight division, similar to the way that Terence Crawford is probably the second biggest star in the welterweight division. But Ryan Garcia is significantly behind Gervonta Tank Davis in all of the numbers that you would take into consideration to see, who gets what, right? So when Ryan Garcia asks for 50-50, it's just pretty much known off the cuff, man, that's not going to happen. Splitting that right down the middle with Gervonta is not going to happen, because that's actually taking advantage of Gervonta, because Gervonta Davis deserves more than you do based on what he's done in the past. I would have said the same thing with Anthony when Anthony Joshua fought was going to fight Deontay Wilder, right? Only when you got to like a 14% split is, for like 70, what is that? 76-14 or whatever that is. No, that's not the right math. You guys forgive me on that. 86-14 split, between the two of them, where it's like, okay, man, that's absolutely ridiculous, right? Or a $14.5 million flat fee. Clearly, the guy's trying to, price himself out. In this particular instance, I think that Terence Crawford probably is just being very, very stubborn and insisting on this. And it's probably not going to fly, especially when you take it in consideration with what Bob Arum has said, as far as, thinking that the actual pool of money for the fight is not as big as what you'd want it, as some people would want it to be. But anyway, that's my take on the circumstance. I hope Bernie the Boxer is just talking out the side of his neck. Well, I don't want to, that sounds insulting. I hope that he's just speculating and it doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on in the fight. But we'll see. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.